Alright, hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for tuning in to yet another how-to video with your host here, Ryan Sketch. This is going to be a really quick one. My sister-in-law just bought a JEEP Renegade, and we noticed that the lights on the inside were a little dim, so I decided I'd go ahead and upgrade her lighting system. So on the inside there's one behind me. So there's two, and then there's one up here, which I don't have the bulb for that right now. That's a festoon bulb, 36 millimeter. And then there's one in the glove box, and then there's two from that vanity fixture right there. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a second. I'm actually running into a minor little problem, but let me show you real quick how to do these ones back here. So this is simple. You're just going to take a flat-headed screwdriver like so. My phone would focus on it, yeah, whatever. And then you're going to come here and carefully stick this. There's a little gap there. You just put that in and pop out. Once you get this out, there's a little black cover here. You just pop that up and it bends backwards. Be careful, these bulbs are hot. So what I would recommend is coming back into the car and turning this dial all the way down. It is all the way off actually in this car. So this will just have to stand. What we're gonna do actually is just disconnect this little guy here. So there's a little tab in there. I'm going to disconnect that. That way the light will pop off and I can go ahead and disconnect it safely. All right, now that has been disconnected, you can go ahead and swap this without worrying about shocking yourself. However, this is still a little warm, so you can use, I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but you could use a pair of pliers and gently yank on that. I'm just gonna wrap my shirt around my fingers and go ahead and disconnect this and replace it with the new one, which is an LED. It looks just like this. Now you should be wearing gloves. I'm not doing it right now because I'm just running through this real quick and I have a ton of these. But this is a T10, I believe. Just a simple LED. You can get these on Amazon, get them wherever you want. Morimoto makes a good set. I actually have a set of Morimotos up front. I will show you those in a second, but let me go ahead and pop this in. Okay, the bulb has been popped back in, so I can go ahead and close this. And set this connector back in like so, and boom, we have lights. So you just go ahead and slide that in like that, pop it in, boom, you're done. So those are the lights for the trunk. I'm going to show you how to do the ones inside. Okay, so we are back in the car, in the front seat now, and I actually tried to use those same LED bulbs in this, but as you can see, the light is still on subtly. Now, this is what they look like when they're on, but when you turn them off, they leave this little, I like to call it a ghosting effect. Sometimes that's a result of these being rotated in the wrong direction, so you might have to pop it out, put it back in the other way, polarized. But in this case, I have tried that and that is not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Morimotos that I bought that were specific to this car. I thought I'd get away with a slightly cheaper option. So, and I will show you how to get this part off. It's pretty easy, but it does take a little bit of yanking and you're gonna feel like you broke something, but I promise you, you didn't. Okay, so since I'm all about safety, you're gonna wanna unhook this guy. There's just a little bit of a tab right here. You'll push that in and pull it out from this socket right here. That way you can go ahead and work on this. Now, another problem that I just ran into, interestingly enough, these Morimoto LEDs, which are these nice fancy pretty ones here. They're Cree. So are the other ones, but these are just higher quality. They don't fit inside the socket widthwise, so it is really interesting. I've never had that happen before. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and put these other ones back in and just roll with it. And it's not going to drain your battery, but it might get annoying. I'm just going to wait until I get the new set. It should only take a couple days, but once I get that, I'll put those in. This only takes about 3 minutes. So you're going to connect this power plug back into the back of this, and then you'll put this into here, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so this black part that actually houses the lights has two little black tabs. There's one right there, and the other one is right there. You slide those in first, and then these clip ones will pop in place. And once you've popped that in place, like so, you hear the little clicking noise, great. Now you can see the ghosting effect, they're still on, which doesn't make me too happy, but again, it's not going to kill the battery, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. The way this locks into place is there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those locking mechanisms are what make this kind of a pain in the butt to get out. You're just going to line those up. Nothing fancy about it. You just line them up, and I'll be right back. I'm going to put this back in. All right, so now we got it back in. Let's get nice and clean. What I would do is with a little flathead screwdriver or a plastic pry bar, if you want to get this back off, you just stick it in here and pull down. And it's kind of cold outside, so my fingers are got a little sore, but you'll want to pull this down just enough that you can get your fingers in there and yank it down. And if you have the bigger, wider pry bar, you can go around here and then yank on it, but it does like to go back up into its natural position and lock back up on you. So I wish I had a before and after as far as the light brightness goes, so you can see the difference, but that's the new LEDs. They both work, and they also have a nice dimming feature, and they'll slowly fade. These are way brighter than the stock ones. There's another, I'll turn off there. There's another light inside the glove box, and you can see it's kind of dim. To get to this one, it's a little tricky. It's right underneath here. You're going to, this is where I would actually use those pliers and pull that bulb out. Just don't squeeze too hard, otherwise it will break, and then you're stuck with the bulb in there. And wouldn't want you to put your finger in there while you have power going, so maybe don't use pliers unless you've done it before, but needle nose pliers specifically, and you won't use a lot of pressure, just a subtle bit. And then once you get that bulb out, you want to just go ahead and pop another LED right back in there. Make sure this thingy's off all the way down. It should. Nope, it doesn't kill the power on these. That's interesting. Cut the battery, disconnect one of the terminals, and do it safer than what I am initially telling you to do. So that's that one, and the only other one that's in here is this one, which this just pops. You can just use your fingers to pop this out, and when you look inside here, oh, lo and behold, what do you know? It's not a festoon. There's the bulb. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out and swap it with one of these other bulbs, and I'll be right back. Okay, just make your life easier and disconnect the power source right there. It's a little white tab that goes out this way, and you should push down, yank it out, and this comes right out. So the bulb is right there. It looks kind of like it's on a rotating locking mechanism. I don't know. So what I'm just going to do is pull this out and pop in the new one. Be right back. Okay, so we're gonna actually test out one of these Morimotos, but as you can see, I got it in there. Nice. I don't know why my phone's so blurry right now. By the way, if you have the opportunity to get the Note 20, don't. It's not that it's a bad phone, it just, the camera setup, it doesn't ever want to do what you want it to do. Maybe that's better. Okay, so you can see the bulbs in. What I did was actually I just shot the halogen bulb out from the back. I just put the screwdriver up to it and it just popped it out that way. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. All right, I don't know if I just got a bad batch of Morimotos, which is rare and like never happens, but I'm gonna go ahead and try the other LED. Hold on a second. All right, so as you can see, it's in and it's a hell of a lot. Up. I must not have it put in all the way. Technical difficulty. All right, technical difficulty has been solved. I did manage to get the Morimoto one in, and that is super bright, and it doesn't ghost at all. Okay, so it all works, and let's take a look back at those ones in the trunk real quick. I actually don't think these guys were ghosting at all. Yeah, so they're off, which is good, and I don't see any latency. But when we pop open the trunk, or I'm pushing the wrong trigger. When you pop it open, boom, there we go. And when you shut it, as you can see, it'll shut right off. Now you can also replace these guys with the same bulbs, T10s. This car is nothing but T10s. I would highly recommend though going with the Morimotos. It is just a better light. They're CAN bus, they're air free, and they're a little bit more expensive, but they're worth the money. All right, that's it. Thanks for checking out this video, and if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you as quickly as possible with some answers. Until next time.